Hi guys, welcome to the Crazyhouse Masterclass. My name is David aka ZGM Adet, and in today's class we're going to be looking at tactical puzzles. I'm going to be dealing with some puzzles to show you different tactics that you can get within Crazyhouse. Crazyhouse, as you know, is not like the normal chess whereby you can easily see tactics. There's more tactics, I believe, in Crazyhouse than there is in normal standard chess, only because Crazyhouse defies the rules. So what we're going to be doing today is just showing some of the tactical ideas that you can come across in Crazyhouse, and I'm going to do that by definitely using a site that I found recently to show you some tactical puzzles. So if you bear with me 1 minute, I just get it up on my screen here. Let's just get things working. I'm using a switcher software, so I'm just going to set it up here. So we're just going to dive into these tactics here. So let's go. So here we are. So looking at our first tactics of the day. Recently I was playing and I found this site. It's very good. It's a chess variant training site, and this is where you get a lot of puzzles. It's one of the few places on the internet where you can get puzzles for Crazyhouse. So let's just take a look at what's in front of us here, and it says white to play and win. So I want you to take a minute and look at, for you guys that are already familiar with Crazyhouse tactics, take a look at this position and what do you think white can play. Now, one thing with this puzzle or this site is that the moment you make the wrong move, it will turn red. So you have to recalculate. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to play any move just to let you know that, see how it works. So here you are. It says puzzle failed. You see, it means that that's not the correct move, and once that happens you can't move again, so you have to restart. So what we're going to do, we are going to really think about it. Now in this position here, when you get a puzzle, what you'll be looking for is a forced mate. So I want you to think. Now don't forget, in Crazyhouse, see on this side here, I hope it shows, see where my mouse is, see these are where you have your capture pieces that you can drop anywhere on the board. You can drop them anywhere on the board. So in force mates, you're looking something that you have to force the king to move. You have to do something to make the king move or come to the square or place where you really want. Now don't forget, waiting moves will not really work in forced mate, because forced mate means that the next move you make, you are going to force your opponent to make that move. He has no choice. So looking at the pieces we have here, we've got white's got a rook, a queen, a knight, and a bishop, and already it's got a knight on b1 and on b8 here. So what can we do to force this king into a mate? Now we know if we put a pawn here, bishop can take, so that's not forced, and then after that there's no follow-up. There's no really any follow-up to really get things going. So in this movement, one thing you want to do is, you've got a knight here, and you know that a knight here can check the king here. If I look at these three squares, 1, 2, 3, and there's only three squares that a king can go to. It's already been hemmed in by his own pieces. See, that's one thing I love about tactics, is that sometimes even your opponent's pieces help you rather than help him. Because in this place now, see, this rook here is helping you rather than him, because this rook is stopping the king from escaping to that square. So it's almost like the king is limited to only 3 squares. So you taking a minute to think. I think some of you might have found the move and say, oh yeah, play that move. Okay, so for those who have found this move, rook to d1, congratulations. So see, we didn't get a red sign there or red notification, because that is one of the correct moves. Now, from the pieces you already have on board or on captured pieces, What piece do you think you can place down on the board that will force a king, or will be a check, force a king to move and give you another move to be able to enforce your mate? So what do you think that move would be? Okay, yes, if you got it, you give yourself a round of applause. The correct move is to drop a knight on c6. Now, what you don't want to do is to use the knight that's already on the board. I don't know if he will let us go back. Let's see, will they let us go back? Let me see if I can get to go back. Okay, so if we could go back, I was gonna say maybe we should try the knight on here to knight c6, but the problem is that this knight, don't forget, this knight is already covering this square. So you want to make sure you limit the square. So rather than using the knight already on the board, use this knight. Now look at what's happened here. The king has moved and is limited. It can't stay on this square, it can't stay here, and it can't stay here. So there's two more pieces we have that we have to force mate. We've got a pawn and a queen, and we all definitely know that queen is more stronger because queen has a longer range and has many, longer range and greater power than any of the pieces. So we drop a queen here, and that is mate. I mean, look at that. Now it looks so easy because we're doing a puzzle, but I can trust you. You can easily miss this when you're playing a game. This can easily be missed, so don't take it for granted at all. Okay, so it's not to be taken for granted. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to the next one, next puzzle. So at least you're getting the idea. And it says here white to play. So let's see. You need to first and foremost always, just take a look at what you have before you play. Don't just play anyhow. Here it's a bit tricky here. So let's see, what have we got? I'm even trying to see what have we got here. What pieces? Okay. It's only got a pawn. So what do we do here? Have you seen it? If you've seen it now, there's a tactical blow. I'm waiting for you to see what you can do. I'm gonna give you 1 minute. Maybe I should have put a timer on the screen. So are you looking at it? I'll give you a few more seconds to see if you can find the move. And to let you know, while I'm doing this program live, I'm actually seeing these puzzles for the first time. So it's not things that I've studied before. I'm actually seeing it for the very first time. Okay, and from my tactical knowledge, let's see if we both get the same thing. So I would say I would go for queen here. Okay, see, and you can see that it hasn't turned red, so we're on the correct path. And then pawn takes knight, I'll go for queen. Can you see that? And then I will give the now here you've got two, don't forget it's supposed to be forced mate. Now look at this square here, you can see the king can't come out here, the king can't come out here too, but it's got 1 and 2 spaces left. So next move that you're gonna play, you have to make sure, number 1, it forces the king to move, and number 2, it limits the amount of spaces that the king can move. So you have to limit the spaces, the opportunities for the king. That's the only way you can get away with this. And don't make a mistake of deciding, no, you're gonna take bishop check here, because don't forget he can block, and the moment that happens, you've given counterplay back to your enemy. So always make sure it's precise. Always think. You've got a couple of seconds or a minute or 2 to be able to think about it. So once you know you got your opponent in a situation like this whereby he's cramped, there's an attack against the king, give yourself a couple of seconds if it's available before you strike. Okay, so if we drop a pawn here, check, the only move, see, it can only move to king d8. So what piece do you have on the board or on the side, which is what part of your captured pieces that can make the king? Look at what happened now. The king is moved, and in fact, in this position here, the king has nowhere to go. It can't move to c8, it can't move to e8. But that means you now have an opportunity to place a piece on board or move one that you have already on board to make the king. And as some of you have rightly guessed already, the move is knight drop on f2, and that is, sorry, on f7, and that is mate. Now, see how that is? It looks easy, but guys, trust me, you can easily miss this. So the reason why you keep practicing puzzles or take a look at these videos. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot of videos with these puzzles from time to time. Just go through them, and you know, let's see if we can try another one. Okay. Wow, this looks a little bit tricky. So black now. So guys, let's look at it together. Black to play. So let's see what we have here. So we have two knights here. King, queen, okay. And wow, we've only got a pawn. Oh, we've only got a pawn. So what? Oh, wait a minute. It said black to play. Okay, so that, so black to play. So what can we do? Black to play. Black to play. So question is that does white have any check? No, so there's no check here. Very good. There's no check at the moment. No check. Why do I have a feeling that I might miss this? Let's see. Knight check. Oh, it has to be forced. What can we do to force? So, oh, you know what? Black is the one to play, and I'm just thinking about it. So we have here. Oh, so black has a knight and a queen on, and I also have one here. So what move can we make to force? If we do a check, you know what? Let's try this. I believe, you know, look at this knight. This knight, I believe it has to be a check. But if we check here and the king takes, then it's not a first. Is that, we can't mate, can we? Ha 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 ha. Okay. If we put a queen here, he has to take. If we do knight check, it comes here. But then, how do we? I'm going to try this. I might miss it, but I think it has to be this. Yes, we got it. We got it. Now, I'll tell you why in a minute. Because I'm thinking we could put the queen here. Check. Oh, we unpack. We on it. We on it. And we have. Yes, we got it. You see? You have to think. You have to think. If we go back, let's see. It says, let's retry. Let's go back. Let's go back here. I mean, look at it here. White is attacking black's queen here, and the bishop is protected. There's knight on c7 attacking the rook, and then we have so many pieces here, and it doesn't, and it looks as if white is so safe. Now sometimes you can be tempted to say you want to put a pawn here. See where the arrow is? You want to put a pawn attacking this rook, and rook can move, and after that, what else do you have? And look at all the things. See, look at all the things here. So it's probably going to take longer, all your time. So you have to be very precise. So I seen that. Another thing I was looking at is queen maybe dropping on h1 here, and then the king. If I had two knights and this bishop wasn't there, probably I would have gone for that. You know, queen here, force, knight here, if I had some pawns around here on f3 or h3, then I can try all that luring out, you know, but it's not going to work only because of the way the position is. So once again, it's knight drop, king has to move, and if king goes into the corner, knight takes and f2, and that's mate. That's fine. That's almost like a, hey, that's not smart of me, but you know, it is smart as mate, because foolishly he's used his own square or his own position to mate himself. So queen jumps in here, and a good thing that because the queen jumps in here is also attacking f2, so that gives us the space. So remember when I said that sometimes your opponent's pieces can serve in your favor. They can be to your advantage, because look at it. If this rook wasn't on d1 now, the king would have moved, and that means you would have one more move. So you still win, but your opponent's pieces is serving as, you know, part of your own army, helping you to mate their own king. Okay, so let's go to another puzzle. Now don't forget, we're both learning these puzzles together, doing it together, but I'm able to share some of my ideas with you. Now, who's to play here? So white to play. So what do we have? What do we have? Okay, what do we have that we can use? I'm trying to see what we have. What can we do to force mate? Okay. So white to move, and we've only got a pawn and a bishop. This must be serious, because we have got a pawn. Let's see. We've got a pawn and a bishop. We can force that king out, and I'll say one of the moves. This is going to be tricky, because I don't want to, I know what to play, but I don't want to. What if we play this? Yes, we got it. Okay, oh, we got 2 pawns. Oh my God, we have got 2 pawns. But we have to be very careful, because, oh my God, I have got it now. Guess what? We put the bishop here, and the king cannot take. And then we have got, ooh, Pampa. Yes, we've got mate, Tata. Yes, look at that. Guys, do you see that idea? Let's go back. I mean, you have to be very careful. So let's go back. Look at the position again. You see, this can happen easily, and it's not always easy to find. Now, always remember, when you find yourself in a position like this, you always want to play a move that forces the king out, bring the king out. Now, sometimes Crazyhouse chess is all about imagination. Because you can think, okay, if this king was on g7, I have an attack. So you have to think, can I actually force black or the king to come out? And the easiest way to do it, not with the bishop, because the bishop has more range. You just want a tiny pawn to just kind of tap him out. Your bishop is already covering that g8. So there's only one square that the king has, and that's the square that you would drop the pawn on. Now look at it very well. Black himself seems to have some bit of attack going here. And what you don't want to do is give him a sniff. You do not want to give black a chance to come back into the game, because he also has got his pieces organized. It just needs, sometimes your opponent just needs one move to have that break, and just strike you. So you have to be very careful. You have to calculate it. And the reason why you have to keep practicing that, you may not always have the time. Look at how much time we're using to explain this. You're not going to have that in the real life situation. So you have to be very, very vigilant. Okay. So like I said, drop the king, bring him out, bring him out. The king has to take. There's no other piece that can take that. Okay. Now, how many squares has the king got? The king has got the square to go back, and he's also got G6 here. In fact, those are the only two squares. It's got G6 and it's got H8. Now, what can we do? Because don't forget, the reason why we brought the king out so that we can get a tempo. We want to make sure, don't forget, one of the secrets of solving a puzzle or winning the game is to make sure that you have a continuous attack. There's no break. It has to be forced. So what we did in order to have that, we used a pawn to bait the king into a position where we can have a sustained continuous attack that will bring about a forced mate. Okay, remember that. Always place a pawn on a piece on the board that draws the king closer to the center, or draws him close to the kill zone, whereby you'll be able to force on a forced mate. Okay, so then we have bishop. So we said we'll put bishop here, king comes out, and the one square we're going to put the knight to finally hammer the nail into the coffin is also protected by knight. But luckily for us, we have a pawn on e4 that can take the knight back. So put it on there. Knight takes pawn, bam, and his mates. Can you see that? Okay, so in this series, we're going to just do one more puzzle, and then I'll in another series, I'll do another puzzle. So let's look at one more. Like I said, it's my first time of doing these puzzles with you, but the ideas are there. You have to always know the ideas. Remember, forced. They have to be forced. So here we have another one, and let's see. So on the board, let's see what we have on the board here. Very good. And we want to see, okay, what we have as our capture pieces. So black is to play and win. So as capture pieces, black only has a queen and a bishop, one queen. Now white has 3 knights, 1 pawn, and 1 bishop. But it's you to play, and we need to have a sustained attack. So I'm just trying to see, what do we do here? What do we do here? We need something that force. Okay. If we play, okay, so let's see, bishop, okay, very good. So what I'm looking at here, I can see this queen is acting as a bit. So king definitely can't cross here, so that's good. That's good news. Chink. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try it. I think this should be it. Check. Oh, we have to be careful here because I've just seen something here. So can I do a forced mate? Bishop down there. The king moves. The problem here okay, so this has to be very forced. So why not, if we place queen here, okay, let's try this. Yay, we got it. I know you have to see, you have to be very, and then here we are, queen takes pawn. And now what we need is, so what have we got? We've got a pawn. So we need something. So I would go this way. Watch this. I hope this does work because I know I will mate here. Yep, I'll play this. Yes, you see that? And then queen takes and we mate. Guys, see? That is it. You have to be sure of the attack. You have to, you know, like I said, this one was a little bit because I was thinking, you know, but if it's in a game, you just have to, like, if it was in a game, definitely I'll put queen there. But because it's a puzzle and I didn't want to like get a red and then start again, but I know that all I would have done in a real life game, I would have sustained. I know how check. And if you look at black's position, there's no threat here. There's no pieces that black and white can drop on the board at a moment that can threaten. But because it's a puzzle, and that's why I wanted to make sure it was the right piece that was dropped. So you always have to make sure, you know, you get, it's just to get the idea. So the more practice you do, the more familiar you become with positions. You see, and look at it once again, the white king is hemmed in by his own pieces. Can you imagine if there was no pawn on c2, it would have still have, you know, been able to like move there or something. But it's all about you recognizing those mating patterns or mating things. So I am so happy that I've had the opportunity to show you some of the tricks in this episode, and in the next episode we'll look at some more puzzles and tactical strategies in Crazyhouse chess. Thank you so much for joining me, and until we see you again, it's ZGM Adet from the Crazyhouse Chess Masterclass. Bye.